Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Please stand for the national anthem of Barbados. Volume, please. Distinguished guests, Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, Minister of Health and Wellness, Barbados, the Honorable Davison Ishmael, Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, Barbados, Honorable Ministers of Health joining us online, Dr. Amalia Del Rego, PAHO WHO representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, Dr. Jabas Barbosa, Director for the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Ciro Hugarte, Director of the Department of Public Health Emergencies, PAHO, who is joining us virtually, prominent secretaries, chief medical officers of health, and other officials from the ministries of health, members of the diplomatic corps, including representatives from the UN, embassies, and multilateral agencies, representatives from the regional and international organizations, Mr. Joseph Gregory, spouse of our late Director Emeritus, Dr. Carissa Etienne, and her family, Dr. Juan Manuel Sotelo, Sub-Regional Director for the Caribbean, representative from civil societies, partners, media, and PAHO colleagues, good morning. Welcome to the official opening of the Carissa F. Etienne Emergency Operations Center, a facility that is dedicated to strengthening health emergency preparedness and response across Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries and the wider Caribbean. I am Taraline Malcolm. I am the advisor for NCD and mental health for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, and I have the honor to be your moderator for this significant occasion. I begin now to invite Kim Foster, our acting director, our acting administrator, to do the security briefing. Kim?
A pleasant good morning. I just realized I got erased. Protocol has been established, and as our chairperson said, I'm the acting administrator and the security focal point. And our security briefing will be short. For visiting personnel, Barbados is known as a safe and peaceful island. We welcome you and ask you to take the necessary precautions as you would take at home. Avoid places that are lonely or crowded. And also, even though your stay might be short, we hope that you'll enjoy it. Now, we're actually dealing with this particular room and the building. If the alarm is activated during this auspicious occasion, everyone is required to calmly and orderly exit the conference room using the emergency doors at the back. They will be automatically activated once that alarm goes off. Now, normally our wardens are other places other than here, but we actually have wardens sitting among you who will escort you over to our assembly point across the street. For our housekeeping matters, of course, we also have some person at reception. So if you are out of this room, some person will assist you. If you are in the what we call our cafeteria or lunchroom, and that alarm should be activated, we'll also have those wardens who will escort you over to the point. Now, as I normally say, we hope it never happens when we have occasions like this, but you never know what will happen. That's why this was one of the first things we wanted to have. So while you're happy and everything, if something happens, you know exactly what to do. Now, for those persons who drove here, if the alarm is activated, please do not study your car. Please head over to the point, to the assembly point. We can replace the car. We can't replace you. So on this note, I bid that we have a successful inauguration without the alarm going off. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. It's always important for us to be prepared, and that's why we have an emergency operations center. But we hope we won't have to use those instructions today. So we are truly honored to have the family of our beloved Dr. Carissa Etienne, Director Emeritus, in whose memory the Emergency Operations Center is being named. Today, we come together as in unity to celebrate her legacy and to advance our regional readiness. This ceremony brings together representatives from across the Caribbean, national authorities, the diplomatic community, international partners, in a shared commitment for strengthening our regional ability to respond to emergencies. As we approach the hurricane season, there is no better time to reaffirm our commitment to public health emergency preparedness. So to officially begin our program, I will invite Dr. Amalia Del Rego, our PAHO WHO representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries. Please welcome Dr. Del Rego.
Thank you, Taraline. Protocol having been established, I will allow me to recognize Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, Minister of Health and Wellness, Barbados, the Honorable Davison Ismail, Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness of Barbados, honorable ministers of health joining us online, permanent secretaries, chief medical officers, and other senior officials, and of course, our Dr. Etienne's family represented here by Mr. Joseph Gregoire, and I hope I pronounce the last name good. I call him Willie, so that's why I have that difficulty in pronouncing his name, his last name. But it really is an honor for us to have you here and your family, not only the ones present here physically, but joining online. Thank you so much for being with us. Good morning, everyone. It is really a privilege for me to represent PAHO and represent PAHO teams, because we are several teams involved in this occasion, and also to welcome you all, the ones here in our beautiful Barbados and the ones online, to this important historic event, the inauguration of the Carissa Faustina Etienne Emergency Operations Center of the PAHO WHO Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. As we gather just ahead of the 2025 hurricane season under the powerful theme, Ready, Responsive, Resilient, we are reminded of the profound vulnerabilities faced by our small island developing states and coastal countries. Here in the Eastern Caribbean, and indeed across the Caribbean, we are exposed not only to hurricanes, but to earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, droughts, and public health emergencies. These hazards, compounded by the climate crisis, make resilience not just an aspiration, but an urgent necessity. Our recent experience with Hurricane Beryl was a strong reminder of those realities. I want to take the opportunity to express once again PAHO solidarity for the significant loss in our countries, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and to a lesser extent, but not trivial, Barbados. At the same time, it is admirable to witness the recovery efforts and resilience. To date, we celebrate a tremendous step forward. This Emergency Operations Center will serve as a vital hub to strengthen PAHO's ability to coordinate timely, effective responses across the 13 countries and territories covered by this multi-country office. It will also enhance the capacity of our decentralized public health emergencies team and ensure we are better positioned to support member states during times of crisis. It is only fitting that this EOC bears the name of Dr. Carissa Faustina Etienne, Director Emeritus of PAHO. Today, we honor her extraordinary leadership, her unwavering commitment to public health, and her legacy of advancing health security and emergency preparedness throughout the Americas. Dr. Etienne's vision and tireless advocacy were instrumental in bringing this project to life, and her influence will continue to guide and inspire us as we operationalize this critical facility. This is a major milestone for PAHO, but it is not the final destination. The work has just begun. Our task now is to make this Emergency Operations Center fully live, functional, responsive, and resilient, a true engine of action and solidarity for the region. This achievement would have not been possible without the outstanding support of the Government of Barbados, whose long-standing collaboration with PAHO and a spirit of solidarity and Pan-Americanism have made this dream a reality. Thank you for Minister Walcott and to the Government of Barbados for hosting not only the PAHO Multi-Country Office, but also our Public Health Emergencies team and the Sub-Regional Program Coordination, and for your leadership in regional and global health. I want to say, Minister Walcott, that I want to thank you particularly for embracing the vision of this project. I also want to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation to the dedicated PAHO project team who worked tirelessly from conceptualization, design, to implementation. And, we say that the work we do is always embraces the full teams. But I want to name the project team in particular, and I hope I will not miss anyone. From our ECC office, Tara Lynn, Kim, Brenda, Nicholas, our two Sonias, we have two Sonias, Sonia G and Sonia B. I will ask that as I mention your names, you please stand. Please. Tara Lynn, Kim, Brenda, Nicholas, our two Sonias, Sonia G and Sonia B. Nisha is not present, but Nisha and Jerry. I don't see Jerry in the room. Maybe he's still in reception. From the Caribbean PhD team, Lea Lu, Clemens Online, and Andrea. From the regional EOC team in Washington Online, Leonardo, Raúl, and Victor. A special thanks to Dr. Ciro Ugarte, Director of, please remain stand. A special thanks to Dr. Ciro Ugarte, Director of PHE, for his leadership and guidance, and of course, last but not least, to Dr. Jarbas Barbosa, Director of PAHO, for his trust and unwavering support of this vision. I want to really ask a round of applause for our team, project team. And yes, please be seated. And with that, I think I am at the end of my brief remarks. I just wanted to welcome you again. I want to thank all of you for the collaboration, for the partnership, for the solidarity. I think it's really working together that we will work and create resilience in our population, but also in our health systems. So we stand, the PAHO team, stand all levels, PAHO WHO, stand ready to respond and to be resilient. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And it is my honor now to introduce Dr. Jarbas Barbosa, who is not physically with us today, but is sending his remarks in a video recording. Please.
Minister of Health from the Eastern Caribbean, permanent secretaries and chief medical officers, family members of our beloved Carissa Etienne, representatives of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, PAHO colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's a distinct honor to address you in this morning on the occasion of the official opening of the Carissa Etienne Emergency Operations Center at the PAHO WHO office in Barbados. This event, this morning, represents a shared commitment to preparedness, to resilience, and to safeguarding the health and well-being of the people of Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the wider Caribbean region. The Caribbean region is no stranger to adversity. Your history is marked by hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, floods, and public health emergencies. And now, with the increasing and undeniable effects of climate change, we face new and growing threats. Yet we rise to these challenges time and again with unity, with courage, and with a deep sense of shared purpose. This Emergency Operations Center, or EOC, is a critical and timely investment in the region's health security. It strengthens our collective capacity to coordinate rapid responses, to monitor emerging threats, in real time and to provide timely, life-saving support to ministries of health and key partners across Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean and, by extension, the Caribbean region. PAHO has long played a leading role in disaster preparedness and response across the Americas. From providing technical cooperation in risk reduction and health sector resilience to supporting countries during active emergencies, PAHO has been a trusted partner on the ground, in the field, and at the heart of regional coordination. This center will serve as a hub for that continued work, a regional asset built through partnership and meant to serve all countries and territories in the Caribbean with equity, efficiency, and urgency. I want to especially acknowledge and commend the government and people of Barbados. Your continued leadership in public health, particularly in times of crisis, has been exemplary. Barbados has consistently stepped forward in solidarity, offering resources, expertise, and refuge to neighbors across the region. We are deeply grateful that you continue to host this critical regional function. And today, it is with both great pride and deep respect that we officially name this facility the Carissa Etienne Emergency Operations Center in memory and honor of our beloved Director Emeritus. Dr. Etienne was more than a leader. She was a tireless champion for equity, for universal health, and for strengthening emergency preparedness at all levels. This EOC is a living tribute to her vision and to her unwavering dedication to public health in the Americas. But let us also remember, the center is not simply about infrastructure. It's about the people, systems, and partnerships. It will be brought to life by the dedication, expertise, and collaboration of all who work within it, and those who work alongside it throughout the Caribbean. The COVID-19 pandemic offers many lessons. One of the main among them is that preparedness cannot wait. With this center now operational and just in time for the 2025 hurricane season, we are better equipped than ever to act quickly, to save lives, and to build a more resilient future. On behalf of the Pan American Health Organization, I extend heartfelt congratulations to the tireless team of the PAHO Eastern Caribbean Office and the PHE, our Department of Public Health Emergencies, and all those who contributed to making this important achievement a reality. Let us continue to work together across agencies, borders, and communities to ensure that every country, every community, and every individual in Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and throughout the wider Caribbean region is protected, empowered, and resilient in face of emergencies. Thank you, and I look forward to the transformative work that will take place within these walls, inspired always by the legacy of our beloved Carissa Etienne.
I thank Dr. Barbosa and pass over to Teralyn. Thank you, Teralyn.
Thank you, Amalia. As Dr. Barbosa noted, the Caribbean, we're used to emergencies, but the recent Hurricane Beryl highlight the critical role for this center and PAHO support in health emergencies. So to provide insight into the evolutions of PAHO's emergency preparedness effort and the role of this new EOC, we welcome Dr. Sira Hugarte, Director of the Department of PAHO, of the Public Health Emergency at PAHO, who has joined us virtually. Dr. Hugarte, over to you.
Thank you so much. It is a privilege for me to join you, although I would like
Volume.
I would love to be in person with you, but I am virtually in Washington, D.C. I hear an echo. I don't know. Is that okay now? Perfect. Thank you so much. Honorable Dr. Jerome Walcott, Minister of Health and Wellness of Barbados, Honorable Ministers of Health of the Eastern Caribbean, distinguished national authorities and guests, family members of Dr. Carissa Etienne, and representatives of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, PAHO colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. The Health Emergencies Program in PAHO was established in 1976. So we will celebrate the 50th anniversary next year. And one of the first decisions that was made at that point was to establish sub-regional offices. And the first one that was established was in Barbados, the sub-regional office for the Caribbean. And it was paramount for the coordination of all the support that the countries needed, but most importantly, is how the Caribbean countries jointly establish some of the big achievements that PAHO has at this moment. One of the most important ones was the establishment of the regional response team. It was because of the solidarity of many of the countries in the Caribbean working together, helping together, putting their experts at the service of other countries and other islands and other needs that were identified in critical moments, that was the source for PAHO to develop and create the regional response team. And also, because of the close work that the emergency program had at that moment, and even today, is that the high-level officers at the countries were also closely involved in identifying which were the common challenges and also how we can support in times of crisis. I recall, for example, all the trainings and all the meetings that were made, and all the experts that were deployed to other countries, but also to other regions and other parts of the Americas. And that was because of that coordination was established through the member states. And that is now one of the biggest legacies that the Health Emergencies Program has, and including some of the key aspects of, for example, civil-military coordination and operations. And we recall that Barbados, for example, showed also big solidarity during COVID-19, sharing the scarce vaccines that were available at that moment. So that is the true meaning of solidarity in large emergencies. And this Emergency Operations Center is a great milestone to establish a better coordination, a better linkages between all those needs that we have. And through that deployment of supplies, deployment of teams, but particularly sharing critical information, timely information, and how we can identify which are the biggest challenges at the moment, we would be able to work together and save the people and provide all the well-being that they need in times of crisis. Of course, hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, flooding, and several other emergencies happen, but also we do have large health emergencies, including epidemics and pandemics. And we see that through our Health Emergency Operations Center, we will able to better work together to save and protect the life and well-being of the people. And I would like to thank at this moment particularly Dr. Amalia del Riego. Amalia, you have been the central force to establish this Emergency Operations Center. Thank you, Amalia. Thank you, Amalia. Thank you, Amalia. Our team, of course, helped you in this process, but without that central force, we wouldn't be able to have this center that was one of the biggest achievements that we had in this almost 50 years. That was looked in several occasions, but you were the central force. Thank you, Amalia. And I would like also to express special words of appreciation to Joseph Gregory. Joseph, you were the center of Dr. Etienne's life. I recall that you were a permanent presence in her thoughts, and a source of inspiration and a permanent internal force and love. And I would like to express that because being Dr. Etienne, the Director Emeritus of PAHO, a true global health leader, an extraordinary human being, and so brave, and the most caring person that I've never ever met. It is truly the source of the family that was at the center of that. And she expanded that love to all the human beings. And through that, it is just a little expression of thank you to Dr. Etienne, naming this Health Emergency Operations Center in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean at her name. It is a truly privilege for me and for all the team of the Health Emergencies Program to have had a leader like Dr. Etienne and having this Emergency Operations Center opening today. And I'm sure that her legacy will be expressed also in every action that we will do to protect the lives and improve the well-being of the people in the Caribbean. Thank you so much.
PAHO's Emergency Preparedness and Disaster Relief Program, PED, was established in 1976. For 40 years, PED provided support to countries responding to emergencies and disasters in the region of the Americas and its work within the WHO Emergency Response Framework. During the 1990s, PAHO's PED established the activation of an Emergency Operations Center EOC, structured to operate in an ad hoc manner for health emergencies and disasters in the Americas. The Emergency Operations Center team began meeting in a multi-purpose room at PAHO headquarters in Washington, D.C. PAHO's ad hoc EOC served as a control command to support PAHO's emergency response operations and physically gather PAHO regional experts for updates on the response and follow up on country support requests. In 2012, PAHO inaugurated a permanent emergency operations center to serve as a communications and information management platform for the coordination of actions for effective emergency response. Later, in 2016, PAHO established the new Health Emergencies Department, PHE. The new PHE department integrates prevention, risk reduction, preparedness, surveillance, response, and early recovery functions for multiple hazards, including for high-risk diseases of pandemic and epidemic potential. In the last 14 years, PAHO's EOC has consolidated its role as a 24/7 primary point of contact between national health authorities and PAHO regional experts, supporting many health emergencies in the Americas, including the COVID-19 pandemic, which reinforced its critical importance. PAHO's EOC also coordinates emergency deployments, shipment of medical supplies, and resource mobilization efforts. The establishment of the Emergency Operations Center at PAHO headquarters in Washington, D.C. marked a major milestone, providing a centralized platform for coordination, information sharing, and rapid response across the region. The new EOC in Barbados represents a critical step in decentralizing and strengthening PAHO's emergency response capabilities, bringing advanced coordination and preparedness tools closer to Caribbean member states.
Round of applause for Dr. Hugarte and the PHE team. So it is now my honor to invite Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, Minister of Health and Wellness for Barbados, to deliver the feature address. Dr. Walcott.
Good morning. Thank you. The Honorable Davidson Ishmael, Minister of State of the Ministry of Health, colleague ministers of health from the Eastern Caribbean, Tomalia Del Regio. You're one of us. I need not introduce you. Mr. Wayne Marshall, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Ciro Ugarte, Department Director, Public Health Emergencies, Mr. Joseph Gregoire, husband of the late Director Emeritus, Dr. Carissa Etienne, and her son, Kimani Gregoire, and other family members of Dr. Etienne, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Dr. Arthur Phillips, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, other representatives of the Pan American Health Organization, Chief Medical Officer and senior health officials here and online, Caribbean Health Disasters Coordinators here and online, other senior officials from the Ministry of Health, especially invited guests, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I've covered everyone. Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. And on behalf of the Prime Minister and the Government of Barbados, I would like to extend a special welcome to those of you from the region who have taken the opportunity to be here for this special important occasion, and of course, the family of Dr. Etienne. It is a pleasure for me to address you at this inauguration of the Carissa Etienne Health Emergency Operations Center. At the outset, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, for taking this important step towards building the disaster preparedness and response capacity of our region. Historically, PAHO WHO has always supported efforts within the region towards disaster risk reduction and preparedness. The establishment of this Health Emergency Operations Center at the Barbados office is another example of the capacity building focusing on strengthening coordination mechanisms for health emergency operations centers in the region, and in this instance, specifically the Eastern Caribbean. Over the years, we in the Caribbean have had much experience with management of the effects of natural disasters such as hurricanes and more recently a volcanic eruption and the consequent sequelae of volcanic ash falls. However, as we continue to experience the effects of the climate crisis and multi-hazard events become more frequent and complex, the response requirements are involving more entities and necessitating better coordination to optimize response. All of us are aware that the COVID-19 pandemic placed us in situations where we had never been before, and that we had to activate health emergency operations centers in most, if not all, of our countries to manage the effects of the pandemic and to optimize our responses. In some instances, the learning curve was steep, and we had to learn and put processes and mechanisms in place as the situation developed, and to strengthen interagency, intersectoral, and regional collaboration, and to leverage extra-regional partnerships, and of course, partnerships with multilateral organizations like PAHO, WHO. Barbados, like many other Caribbean countries, has had a long and invaluable relationship with PAHO in the area of emergency response and strengthening capacities for preparedness and response to public health emergencies. Over the years, PAHO has provided technical expertise, training, and assisted with supplies. In this regard, there are many examples, but I will only mention a few this morning. Technical expertise was given in the assessment of health facilities using the SMART initiative, and in the development of the National Multi-Hazard the Health National Adaptation Plans. Training has been conducted in surveillance and early warning systems, mass casualty management and preparation for mass crowd events, such as the recently held ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, and in the strengthening of health emergency operations centers and coordination mechanisms. Supplies were received, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, and there was much assistance to strengthen laboratory capacity at our Best Santos Public Health Lab, which has now also been designated as a WHO National Influenza Center. This lab also continues to develop and implement its antimicrobial resistance program in collaboration with PAHO and other partners. This collaboration will not only benefit Barbados, but also strengthen capacities in the Eastern Caribbean. The need for collaboration and coordination in disaster management cannot be emphasized enough. And this was again seen most recently in 2024 with the experience of Hurricane Beryl, which in its passage affected many of the islands in the Caribbean, including Barbados, and caused catastrophic damage on Grenada's northern islands of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and especially on the southern Grenadine islands of Union and Canuan. This year, predictions are again indicating an active Atlantic Basin hurricane season, with Colorado State University forecasters stating that the upcoming 2025 hurricane season across the Atlantic Basin will be above average, with 17 named tropical storms, including 9 hurricanes, of which 4 are predicted to be major. Given these predictions and past experiences, I dare say that the launch of this Health Emergency Operations Center is extremely timely. We know that hazards like hurricanes can affect lives and livelihoods. Hurricane Beryl alone was reportedly responsible for 73 fatalities and more than $8 billion in damage. The importance of the Carissa Etienne Health Emergency Operations Center and potential benefits of this coordination mechanism for Barbados and the Caribbean cannot be overstated. And we are truly appreciative of this initiative by PAHO. I expect that this Emergency Operations Center will help us as a region to work more closely together, not only to respond, but in preparing for disasters, and extremely to be part of this process. It is indeed very fitting that the center will be named the Carissa Etienne Emergency Operations Center, in memory of Dr. Etienne as Director Emeritus, in recognition of her sterling contribution to public health in the region, and in particular, her strong leadership in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. In conclusion, I want to congratulate PAHO and to reiterate Barbados' support for this initiative. Let us be ready, responsive, and resilient. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister Walcott. Let's have another round of applause. So we will now pause to pay tribute to the extraordinary legacy of Dr. Carissa Etienne. I invite Dr. Del Rego to present a collection of images and memories of her contribution to her family. Dr. Del Rego.
I don't have any notes for this. My team asked yesterday if I will not get emotional, and I said, well, it will be emotional for all of us. And then I said, but I'm not going to cry, because this is a moment where I will remember Carissa with the big smile, peaceful smile, calm, and at any time, basically saying, everything is going to be all right. I work very closely with Dr. Etienne in different areas, and including during the COVID-19 pandemic, when I was duty stationed in Washington, and I was part of the response team. And Dr. Etienne really provided not only technical and political leadership, but humanity to the work of PAHO and to all of us that really had the privilege to work with her. So we were really very fortunate, the ECC team, to receive Dr. Etienne twice in the last 6 months of her PAHO journey. Dr. Etienne came to Barbados in 2022. I was just recently appointed a representative, first in the occasion of celebrating the 120th anniversary of PAHO, and then she came back to receive the, I will say, one of the most outstanding honors of that Barbados recognized to people with contributions to the humanity, to the human beings. So when we were so happy, we celebrated that. I joined with family in basically escorting her to different places as part of the role of representatives. And I do remember the day that we were going to that we were going to the recognition ceremony. She came out and dressed, and one of the ladies there that were helping all of us asked, "How do you feel?" And she said, "I feel like a princess. Princess Carissa." So from that day, I always call her Princess Carissa. We were, of course, shocked with her passing. The team really had her coming to Barbados and interacting with us very recently. And then I have to say that as a team, we didn't know what to do. And one of the things that really came up as a way of mourning was to review our memories. When we see pictures, and even when we see the pictures of the establishment of PAHO in 1902, is history. And so we have history in the making. And there is one person in this country office that is responsible and has been basically crafting the institutional memory and history of PAHO. And it's the person that actually came up with this idea of what we are going to present to Carissa's family today. And I want to call Brenda Lashley. Yes. Because I was here in the last 6 months before Carissa left, but Brenda is the creator of this piece of we call a legacy of service, and is the one that has the best, that I think the best way of summarizing what it is. Brenda, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. To the family of Dr. Etienne, it was truly an honor for us to prepare this commemorative pictorial book. It was a heartfelt job that we did on her work, her legacy in the Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries. The book celebrates her visits to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, but it's not only about her official duties in the countries, it reflects the time she spent here with us, her staff. We have so many wonderful moments sharing with her here, and it's reflected, some of it is reflected here. As recent as PWR said, her last visit here to Barbados, we sat here outside of Conference Room 1, and we and you would remember this. We sang with her, and that is how we felt about Dr. Etienne. She was one of us. She loved us. We loved her. Sadly, we were unable to present this to her before her passing. We have included some pictures from her funeral service, and we present this to you as a token, a heartfelt token of respect and appreciation for Dr. Etienne. Mhm. Thank you. Thank you.
We have all been trying really hard not to smudge our makeups, but it's difficult. At this moment, I'll invite Leilou, our sub-regional advisor for public health emergency, to give the vote of thanks. Leilou.
It's slightly shorter. I have to adjust. Good morning again, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in expressing our sincerest gratitude to a number of people who had been very instrumental in today's inauguration event. So we wish to thank Dr. Jarbas Barbosa, our director of the Pan American Health Organization, for his remarks, and that underlying that Dr. Carissa Etienne Emergency Operations Center is not simply an infrastructure. It is about the people, systems, and partnerships. To Dr. Ciro Ugarte, my manager, director of the Department of Health Emergencies, who highlighted the critical role of the Caribbean in health emergencies over the years and his inspiring words in this very critical event. Senator Dr. the Most Honorable Minister Jerome Walcott, Minister of Health and Wellness, Barbados. We appreciate very much your leadership and your collaboration with PAHO WHO in strengthening capacity and preparedness response in public health emergency. To Mr. Joseph Gregoire, spouse of the former Director Emeritus, Dr. Carissa Etienne, and his family who join us today for their valuable time in traveling, ensuring that they present our former Director Emeritus. A big thank you as well to a lot of other peoples and entities, the Ministry of Housing, it could be the Health of Housing, for their technical guidance in the establishment of the EOC, to the Barbados Defense Force, colleagues are always there, for their continued collaboration in the area of health emergencies. Thank you very much. To Alan Armstrong Associate, there we are, who is the project management company who did the technical design and who monitored the work progress from conception and to the end, along with Paho. Thank you. Sincerest gratitude to Novum. Ian, please raise your hand. There we go. For the artistic design that you will see when you come and visit the EOC just right next door. And we will soon reach that part. To Illusion Graphics for doing the EOC plaque. They have been very flexible and patient with us in all our edits and changes. You cannot imagine with people like Paho. And you will see as well, and this is an extension of gratitude to Expressionism for the ribbon cutting and unveiling setup today, even with very short notice. To Corbin Catering for preparing some refreshments for us, and to our partners from the media who are diligently covering this important event. Dr. Taralyn Malcolm, we are so grateful that you accepted the difficult task of being our mistress of ceremony. You did a splendid job, as always. It would be remiss of me not to thank Dr. Amalia Lerego, the Paho Tolerate representative for Barbados and Eastern Caribbean, whose vision and leadership transformed a significant section of this building into a center of coordination and collaboration for emergency preparedness and response. This event would not have been successful if not to the people behind the scenes. To my colleagues who were part of the planning committee, the decoration team, as you can see, the communications group, tirelessly working behind the scene, the event organizers for their hard work and dedication, for putting together such a wonderful event, again, in a very short period of time. Such a great set of people to make this event to the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you who are attending today and those who are virtually connected, thank you for taking part, and our sincerest gratitude to your time and your valuable present. I thank you.
Thank you, Lialu. So we are now at the point in this ceremony that we'll have the formal unveiling of the plaque and the ceremonial ribbon cutting. So we'll start by inviting Senator Dr. The Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, Dr. Amalia Del Rego, and Mr. Joseph Gregoire to lead this special moment. So. We will also invite Minister Davison Ishmael, our permanent secretary, Wayne Marshall, the remaining members of Dr. Etienne's family, other guests seated in the second row. You're welcome to join the unveiling and the first official tour of the UOC. For our remaining participant, this moment will be live streamed. So all of us will still be able to experience and take that visual or virtual tour of the EOC. So while we cannot accommodate everyone at this point in time, the EOC will be open for viewing of all interested guests following the ceremony. So we'll just be able to view, the Barbados Defense Force, sorry. So the rest of us, we will remain here and we'll be able to view the ceremony on the screen. After the ceremony, we will be able to do a second cohort or a third group that will do the visit. But we just can't accommodate everyone at the same time. Event. May the center continue to reflect the vision, leadership, and legacy of Dr. Carissa Etienne as we advance public health in the spirit of readiness, responsiveness, and resilience. So for the remaining guests, we invite you to join the team and do the tour of the EOC and also to join us for refreshment. For those online, thank you very much for this time. We wish you a fantastic rest. Thank you, and that brings our event to a close.
EOCs, and of course is going to be available for the Ministry of Health here in Barbados, for other countries to come and have this as a hub for capacity building. And our UN colleagues and in general the community that works in the area of disaster preparedness and response. So this is going to be available for to support capacity building peacetime. During emergencies, of course, we will establish here our command incident management system and command center for PAHO operations. But as we saw when in the recent experience with Beryl, because of the way that our countries are located, sometimes we can have 2, 3, and even more countries affected at the same time. And when we have surge capacity, then we have all of the office space to accommodate that surge capacity. And that includes our UN colleagues, and of course, for anything that is needed for the Ministry of Health. So that's the concept, that's the idea. And this where we are standing. It was your job, Lealu, to say that as a technical expert. Yeah. But this place where we are is we call it the flexible mobile conference room. So this will become a conference room and also will be like this when we have emergencies.
So just on the conference room, so during peacetime, as Amalia said, we will close off this area wherein we will move two of those tables over there in a location where we could put here so that this area can be converted into a conference, an additional conference area for POW, particularly for training purposes, where we would like to do some simulation exercises as well. So practice exercises and drills. And on this side, we have and I'll invite you to come this way, please. As Amalia said, it's quite flexible. We want to also ensure the well-being of the people who are working here. So we have a soft space that we have dedicated at least for some rest, at least rest, maybe not too much recreation in these times of event. We have a small storage room back over here, and we plan on putting, of course, some of the printing equipment that we have yet to put in. You will see in this corner, and we have Dr. Etienne's photo, which we will keep, of course, in her memory and as the name of the health EOC we have here. This room at the back is the incident manager's room and a little meeting space that we have put forward. We are featuring the field PAHO emergency operations centers in the different locations, so you can have a look as well later on. But this room will be for the incident manager. It is covered, if we can say that way, for a bit of privacy in some of the meetings that will happen, especially high-level meeting, right? So this is dedicated for that person when in times of crisis. Going through the, yes.
So this really space is so important. During burial, you will not imagine where we had our EOC, in a small room that fit only 10 people, max. So we were all of us trying to really work at the same time, endless hours with very little space for even breathe. And because we need to maintain our regular operations and at the same time respond to the emergencies, this idea in the design of an EOC that provides that space for people to actually breathe, sit down, and continue. It is, I think for us, I really hope we are not going to need to use this in the 2025 hurricane season. But if that will happen, I think we will be better prepared.
Thank you. You will see that there are lots of workstations and they are dedicated to incident management system, for information management, for collection of data, for project management as well, and some of the technical areas that you would have seen during emergency response. So those were in charge of health sector analysis and assessment, surveillance and epidemiology, those who are working in the area of water and sanitation, environmental health, mental health and psychosocial support, and NCD, and a few more others that we can write endlessly. But on this side, and you will see the display panels, we have our public health signals and events. Unfortunately, we are unable to show you the international health regulation events. But moving on to this side, we have another hidden meeting room where we wanted to make sure that there is more privacy to any meeting that perhaps, and I don't want to say that Minister Walcott may need in times of crisis. So this is a slightly smaller area where we would need some privacy, another high-level meeting that may be required during times of crisis. Yeah, so this is another setup that we have towards the back. It's a bit hidden because we want not to disturb those who would be using this area for meeting and dialogues. We do not want the fire exit to be covered, of course, but when needed, we can certainly use this space
as one of those standing meeting areas where a lot of things actually happen in the corridor, right? Amalia, I think this is it. I think. Thank you so much. And please, you feel free to move around. If you have any questions, please do let us know.
Thank you, Rialu. Thank
Welcome.
you, Rialu.
Yes, we do have some refreshments in our cafeteria, in our lunchroom, if you would like to have, so we could exit. Those who are interested in some of our maps that we have used during burial, they're over here. Maybe not a good memory, so we could probably go to our lunchroom for snacks.